What's your question for today?
Right. So last time I came here, you shot a lot of lights onto different areas, and one of them was a main one, which was about love. And this is basically a quick follow up. Like, what comes next? I kind of feel like we covered the bases and I know what's what. I simply want to know, in terms of love, what is the next step?
All right. Well, let's have a look. Then we can see what comes up, and you can always clarify if you have any more questions.
Okay.
It's underneath this one. Interesting.
Four cards.
So much to just a few cards.
So look coming up.
It's interesting that it fell here.
You know, it's funny. These two cards came out, and I jumped to this side on the table. This one was on top of this one. This is the High Priestess. And it is all about the unseen, connecting to the unseen world. And this, Ace of Swords. You can see kind of new beginning, jumping off to a new thing. That's how the first thing felt to me. And getting an idea. And this is covered by this one. So it kind of felt like there's something we're not allowed to see. That's right. It starts off right in the beginning of the session. So I'm like, okay, that's interesting, but let's see. Because in the cards here, a lot came up. It feels like quite big energy, to be honest. Yeah.
I hope into the right direction.
in the right direction, but like as in big transformation stuff. That's what I really felt like. And you see here, the first card that came out is North Node, Life's Purpose. Well, if you're familiar with the nodes in your birth chart, I don't know if you heard of the nodes. You have two nodes in your birth chart.
Yeah.
So for who's listening to this and doesn't know, the birth chart is a snapshot of the sky on the moment, place, time when you were born. So the placement of the planets, etc., and other ethereal bodies. And the south node is basically where you're super comfortable, where you kind of the stuff that you're good at naturally. And the north node is where you need to move toward in your life. And it said literally the card north node, life purpose. And it feels like this is big, you're moving towards your life purpose, your destiny. So that's the first energy that comes out. So that was instantly like, bam, But the question was about love. Second thing that comes out, it's also funny, with two cards. These cards were covered. So one says Sagittarius, I see, and it covers the 8th house, which is new endings, new beginnings. So again, it feels to me something's covered, something's covering the new beginning, and it cannot yet be seen. And then this one is the same message. Something's a new beginning, Ace of Swords, but something's covering it. So it's still not, something's not being seen yet. And that can be which new beginning it is. Or there's something you're not willing to see yet. That's also possible. But let's go further down the session. And yeah, here again, so this is like some of the archetypes that are coming up. And then the next thing that comes out here is preparation for metamorphosis, and then the new day dawns. So a new day, a new dawn. This is the Dagas rune, which is all about the new beginning, the sun coming up. And this again is very heavy serious energy, but heavy in the sense of a good thing, of a big transformation. So again, it's confirmed. And then here again, you see the archetypes. I felt very strongly that why it's such a heavy transformation is linked to something that you will be able to heal from childhood. So the wounded child will be liberated from feeling victimized, feeling like the card literally says fool.
Yeah.
But it can be like wearing a mask, like being fooled by something. That's how it feels to me. Like you see the mask can come off, the tears can come out, and it kind of feels like a liberation from an old wound. So I think that's why it's so significant in this session. So when you ask about love, you may have had in mind another person, meeting someone in love. That's, to be honest, the first way I interpret it when you ask me about love. But what I actually find in this session, in the reading, is that it's telling you something about that love's coming, but in the first way it's coming is in the way of you feeling liberated from that freaking burden that you've been carrying for a long
Dear
time.
God. Yes, I
Exactly.
understand why this is heavy energy.
Yeah, but in a, but heavy in a way that I felt it, and I was thinking,
Yeah.
this is what you've been waiting for a very long time. So this is actually what's going to make you very happy. This is going to make you happier than a person, and that doesn't mean there won't be a person, by the way.
Yeah.
Just so you know. But this is going to be the core healing that you've been trying to find, trying to look for. And it feels like, because this is covered, this new beginning, by something you cannot yet see, or you don't want to see. The first thing I heard when I saw the cards, when this one came out, there's something you don't want to see. That's the first thing that came up. And the Ace of Swords is about a new idea or an insight. So that could mean a sudden insight about it, or it could mean that there's a limiting belief that's in the way. One of the two. But it also feels like a quick energy, like, can this be removed quickly? And I have the feeling that there's going to be a moment when you have some kind of an insight, and suddenly you're able to remove the burden that you've been carrying for so long. That's how it feels to me, and that's why I'm kind of smiling, because it feels, the energy I felt was like, like, yes.
I mean, she does look fucking happy. Like, this is.
Yeah, sun salutations.
And I always, is that like a greenhouse she's
It's a
inside of?
greenhouse. It is.
So I always said my dream home has a greenhouse, and I'd like a corner where I would do paintings in the greenhouse. She's doing yoga in there. I mean, which is totally fine. I don't mind doing that. Actually.
It's funny you say that, because you're saying a greenhouse where you will be creating. Well, this card that's on the end is the Empress, which is the creator of the tarot deck.
Yeah.
She is creation.
Nice.
She is creation. She is in the card. She is creating. She's writing a letter.
Well, I
This
told
is
you I
true.
want to write a book, so I am writing a
Right.
book, but
Oh my God. Yes, 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 yes.
Yeah.
That's what she's doing. That's what she's doing.
Is that
You'll be writing it from the greenhouse. That's like I thought it was a stamp or something. It looked like a
Yeah, it
crystal to me.
looks. Yeah, it's hard to say if it's a stamp or even a wand of some sort or a staff.
It looks more like a wand because of the crystal in the end.
Yeah.
Be a weird stamp, but it's pretty. But that's crazy. The Empress writing a book next to the greenhouse, which is creation, wellness too.
I
By the
need to
way,
take that more seriously. The writing, I don't find enough windows for it.
the card that's underneath it, Eight of Pentacles,
Yeah.
is really about consistent building, but it's slow energy. But it's all about putting in the work. Being
Really?
Yeah, that's
Oh
what
my
the Eight of
God.
Pentacles is about.
Yeah.
It's really about just take it slowly, start taking the steps.
Yeah.
Don't rush. It's not rushed energy at all. It feels very, and maybe actually starting to take those steps will be part of, that liberation somehow, or that sudden insight. I don't know. not sure if that's connected to that, but it is, that's the dream,
Yeah.
and this is the future.
Well, the book will be about this stuff.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
that I can say.
Preparation for the metamorphosis. The squirrel and chestnut, the frog and lotus. Do you have any relation to squirrels or frogs?
Well, I do work with spirit animals myself, right? And the squirrel, what stands out to me is that it's way underestimated. If squirrels would not exist, we would probably not have that many forests like we do, because they they hide more than they find later on, and that's why they sow the seed. They are such a contributor to the forest, and they are a symbol for small being with big impact, but it's way underestimated, and they don't even do it for this purpose. It's just what they do. They forget what they did with it. With their acorns and whatever they hide
I love that.
and bury.
I feel like it's always almost in line with the Eight of Pentacles that is around this dream. Like, just start storing the nuts. Just start taking the small steps. You have like, what can I do
Yeah.
today? I can just write one paragraph. I can just write one sentence. I'll write one sentence or one word.
Oh my
That's
gosh,
one nut.
yeah.
Then you just the next day you're like, okay, what's the nut I'm gonna store today? Another sentence, another paragraph, and just kind of put a little dime into the
And also
savings bank.
also not to be too much in my head, like about, okay, this nut has to grow into a tree. Maybe it's not about that. Maybe it's just about, do your thing. Some of it will grow into a tree, some of it won't, and that's okay. And some of it will go into your own pocket.
But the funny thing is though that first that I didn't make that connection, but it says preparation metamorphosis, right? And I was like, this liberation, it will prepare you for the big metamorphosis, the big change that you're actually looking for, the love that you're looking for, all the things. But it's also the small steps will eventually get you there. Like even the process is preparing you for this somehow. That's how it feels as well. And it's funny, she's actually she's a botanic. She created a botanical garden. She's doing yoga.
I love the mat she's standing on. So pretty.
It's very cool.
Oh
this is-
wow. That was
It's matching flower, by the way. This is a cactus flower. Obviously, this is like a lotus, but they're both like pink flowers.
I didn't expect so much to come through. Like, that's very powerful. And I
Yes.
thought there would be like, I asked for something small, and here it is,
Yeah.
like giving me a full on map.
I expected that too, to be honest. But my expectations, 9 out of 10 times, it's something completely different that comes out. I expected it's a love reading. I expected it's gonna be a story about, finding.
I'm
a
actually more
partner.
excited about this.
Oh, it turns out, and that's the love you're actually looking for is this, and then the rest will follow as the result of that. But this is like the steps to feel that free, feel liberated. That's why this one came out, and I was like,
Yeah.
you know what I find so? But the first feeling I got with this card when I saw it, Liberator, I felt your energy. That's as related to the process you're going through as well, to speak out about the things that you find important, no matter what. Putting everything on the line to say, hey, this is important to me. This is what I believe in. That energy, that fire, because I always feel that, I love that. I'm like, yes, let's go. That fire is like carrying the torch.
Can I see that?
That's so powerful.
You do know that these colors are very significant in my culture.
I didn't
That
know
that is pretty amazing. Like,
I did not know that.
and even the shapes in the background. So first of all, fire is very significant because the Zoroastrian religion, which is barely a religion, it's more like a rough guide, to have good thoughts, good words, and good deeds, right? But this religion, it's built around fire. It takes it as a symbol. And I mean, we just went through Charsam Basuri. Also, fire is very significant in our culture. And the sun is even in our original flag. So I do see a lot of cultural things. So I didn't even thought about the liberation of,
And here is what's by the way, I get goosebumps right now when you said that. The sun, as the sun's rising again, like we're
Yeah.
so with the whole revolution, everything that's going on, right?
Yeah.
And then here in the future, in the beautiful greenhouse with all the things, the sun's rising again.
Oh my
That's our
God. I didn't
rising
even see
sun.
that. Oh, wow.
So that's
This
very-
really reminds me of Mexico from the vegetation,
Uh-huh.
but who knows? Maybe it's a dream house in Iran that can be as warm as Mexico.
Mhm.
Honestly, it has really beautiful places there.
Great. Love it. This one to me, when I saw this card, I was like, that's very strong. And that feels very like your essence coming out, And like all the childhood stuff
Yeah.
that's around it. That here's the archetype, the wounded child, can heal from blaming like dysfunctional relationship on childhood, like resisting movement because of all the stuff that happens, and it's not able to forgive the things within yourself, right? Because it's always kind of we always feel I need to forgive people. No, it's stuff you work on to heal yourself, because you
Yeah.
don't have to carry that within you for the rest of your eternity, hopefully. But then also, you just feel the card, right?
Yeah.
Being in a situation where you just, are put into without any of your own doing, and you kind of carrying that burden. There's so much sadness under the mask that you've always had to carry.
And I'm
Out of-
thinking a masking behavior.
Mhm.
That's something that I did have
Ah.
in the past. I was often masking, even though I wasn't feeling good. And the Fool also makes me think of deceit, also a huge subject matter in my life.
Mhm. Mhm.
So you're
Because-
saying I'm being liberated, or I liberate myself from that?
Yeah, I feel like also you'll be able to trust again. That's also a feeling I have. Like somehow you'll feel the solidity within yourself,
Yeah.
that you will be able to, in the sense of not wearing a mask, to freely speak and say, this is what I believe, this is what I stand for. I can, carry the torch for what I stand for and the way I want to make
Right.
the world feel better.
Right.
But still I can still trust, and I can still rely on life. The one thing still I wonder though is this, why this is covered. These cards are covered twice.
Mm.
So not seeing the ending or the beginning yet, like as if there's something you cannot yet see. Same here. You just want to jump off this mountain on your snowboard. Maybe one day, not in Iran. I think you can. Good winter sport in Iran. I was here, but something's still covered.
I honestly thought that, I mean, the card under that, it has the skull, right?
Mhm.
And I think it's about something ending, but also something beginning, right? Because something has to die in order to birth something new. And I kind of, so that was, the skull was the first thing that jumped into my eye. I do feel like a lot of things are dying away right now. And to be honest, for me, it creates a feeling of, when is this going to end? That's my sensation right now. I'm not sure if this might be an expression of how I feel about this, or that this is somehow impacting my journey, that feeling of mine.
What's covering it? Sagittarius.
Mm-hmm.
Is really about the adventure, but also I feel like also with Sagittarius always feels a very positive sign and sees all the potential and the good stuff and all the great things also in the world. So could it also be related to, having both sides of the thing? So you can see all the awful shit that can be very consuming, of course, but also seeing the other side of it.
And And it's interesting that you say one thing is covering the other. I
Because this is
wonder.
also having fun.
Yeah.
Like let's just go and just.
Yeah.
It's almost this one. I feel almost jumping off a cliff. Like, meh.
Yeah, last time I went skiing, I broke my wrist.
Oh,
It
maybe
was
not.
so fun. It was a fun vacation. So what is the priestess, the high priestess about?
Yeah, so the high priestess is really about the connection with, the higher self, with the unseen realms.
Yeah.
And yeah, she's often, about the intuitive connection, but also about about the unseen. And it came out on top of this card. I had an instant feeling something's being covered, and these cards came out with the same thing I see, but it's covering this one. So I felt there's something you're not seeing. We could also ask maybe, what's the reason that these are
Right.
covered? Something needs to come in balance. Card about love. Are you focusing too much on the bad stuff?
That could be. Honestly, right now, with
that's what it is.
everything,
That's what it is.
with everything going on, I am very much.
That's
I
what
mean,
it
I'm
is.
even sucked into it,
Yeah.
literally. At times, I need people who drag me out of this. So, kind of related to this card, and that's my hope, the liberation.
That's what this is. Couldn't be any clearer.
Yeah.
Two of Cups. Card about love, emotion, but in this case as well, you see the yin and yang symbol.
Yeah.
It's the balance between the two, of course,
Yeah.
and that's kind of the feeling I have with the Sagittarius card. But then the Two of Wands comes out. You see, he's
Oh my
haunted by,
God, I didn't see that.
he's haunted by a dark figure.
Yeah.
Like he looks at, he's almost like overwhelmed by the shadows. He sees the shadow, but he puts so much focus on it that the shadows actually becomes a lot bigger than he is. So it's almost like, he can't see ahead.
And there is a light on this picture, right? But he's not looking at the light. He's looking
Yeah.
in the shadow. Yeah, interesting.
Yeah.
Wow.
So could it be that you're not seeing that there's also this? There's also the Sagittarius that's just having fun, traveling, going on adventures, and at the same time carrying the torch, right? So it's not about just having fun, pretending this is all not happening. It's about integrating it and still, doing what you feel you're here to do and saying the things. But she's also the liberator. I find, she's wearing a white dress. She is, she doesn't feel haunted by anything.
Yeah.
She feels like pure at the same. She feels pure, like in her essence, but still standing out.
I think instead of letting any darkness sucking me into itself, I have to keep my eye on the light and keep expressing what I'm here for.
Yeah, and I think also maybe the idea that it's also okay, despite of everything happening that's so heavy, that it's also okay to have moments of the other thing.
Yeah.
So it can charge you for living your purpose, right?
Yeah.
Going to your north, not living your life purpose. So you keep the energy to keep doing it. That's okay. You don't have to suffer to do this. You can do this. You can make a huge impact. But still being grounded, still being trusting. You maybe even actually seeing the reading, making a bigger impact because of allowing yourself to, be in that, I think.
Wow. That's huge. Thank you. That's really huge. And it's again, it's unexpected and so much greater than I thought.
But that's the love you're looking for.
It's for me this sounds all like, yeah, this is a very genuine next step. It really resonates with where I am, where I want to go. I would have been very surprised if the cards would have said, I don't know, like just and sometimes cards can do that, right? I think one time I went to a reading and there was a hint like look for a new hobby or something like that. Like it can be very practical. But I didn't feel like this was something that would turn up right now. So this is a very pleasant surprise, very pleasant, and very, very much in a way that I feel like, okay, yeah, I'm gonna do that actually.
Nice.
The thing with the book, and I will seek more balance. Yeah. Fantastic. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
And thank you, spirits.